All right, folks, welcome back. It is day hold. It is day 60 with Duolingo Chinese. 欢迎大家好. Welcome. We got to book it today. The nice thing is it's day 3, so it's the shortest of the days for Chinese. Gotta learn some Hanzi. I think we have 15 Hanzi characters to learn. So let's start off with our recall. So we're using Pinyin today for Unit 14. So Pinyin for Unit 14. Ask for directions. Is that what we did? Yes. Okay. So, yeah, 边 面 right? 面 右边 左边 旁边 旁边 后面 前面 no 见面 sorry 前面 见面 见面 no 见面 sorry 见面 见面 actually it might be 见面 no wait no wrong tone, that doesn't sound right. 见面 wait that might be the wrong tone earlier. It's a 4/4. 见面 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 I mean sorry 前面 oh no 前面 hold oh no, I'll have to double check on that. I think it's 2. 前面 I think it's 前面. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. 前面 前面 sounds good. Feels good. 前面 Yeah. We're good. That sounds great. What else we got? Lu. Path, road, way. Lu. Wang. Forwards. Wang. Zhou. Walk. Zhou. 学校 他们的、你们的. These were used to say relative positions, right? 他们的后面 right? 他们的后面你们的家的前面 right? It's to use as a point of reference. You require a point of reference for positioning. So it's kind of like a grammar point. What else we got? Not too much for directions, really. We had 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. Maybe it's 10. Why do I keep thinking 15? Maybe it's 10 characters. I'm definitely missing something. Oh, wait, no. Maybe it's just 10. What else do we have? Dao. Dao. Arrived to somewhere. Dao. 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 学校. 学校.怎么就怎么就这怎么这么怎么 Gotta have to check these too. 怎么 like 怎么就怎么哎到你的学校怎么走 like that. Or 往前面走 walk towards the front, right? Oh, more location stuff like 这里那里哪里 right? Good enough. Unit 13. What the heck was Unit 13? It had a lot of things to do with time. Yeah. 那里这里哪里 Okay, Unit 13 was we organized this quite a bit. So oh yeah, no worries. I'll forever hold it against you. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. 去年，去年，今年，明年，明年，明年，每年。And we can substitute. Tian, with the exception of Duolingo. 上个这个下个and 每个 just in Photoshop making a better looking layout because my old one was kind of mid. Showing your Gen Z status by saying mid. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I know exactly what you mean. I actually learned it from a Gen Z. Like in mid. You be thinking like, wait, how's that Gen Z? It's because when you think of mid, you think average. If you're a boomer. Quote unquote. The default boomer, you know? If you think it's mid, it's like, what's wrong with mid? Isn't that like average? No. It's like not good. It's like below average. Like why is it called mid? If it's then you're having a conversation between a millennial and a zoomer. Also because you kind of find it funny. Me too. I say the same thing too. Sometimes I literally do that intentionally. Like when someone says like, hey, it's been a hot minute since we talked. Like, wait, is a hot minute like a fast minute? Like, no, that's a long minute. Like, then what's a cool minute? You know? Like, a hot minute is fast, right? Like, the last time I checked, something that's hot is like fast. What happened to a cool minute? I do it all the time. I'm shameless. Sorry, guys. I'm absolutely shameless. Hot minute is like a long time, I think. Yeah, it is. Yeah, hot minute is a long time. And there just isn't a cool minute. Oh, you don't say it's been a hot minute? Or even ironically? You don't even say it ironically? Like, hey, Kat, it's been a hot minute since we talked. It's been a hot minute since we yapped a little. Although you use yap. Yap is a zoomer thing. I've embraced the yap. I am the yap lord. Not even ironic. Very random terminology. You don't think mid is random? The yap lord. Yes. Alright, so this is being... Not gonna lie, you are the yap lord, but they're good yaps. Yeah, I'll show you some good yaps. No, we can't afford to yap anymore. Not yet. No more yaps. So we have 周末 to tie with this. And星期, right? 星期. And plus this, we have 日天一二三四五六. I like to practice my numbers. Numbers come up quite a bit. And to there's 会versus 了会 and 了.会见了.会做了. 认识了. Oops. 会在. Let's see. Got lots of greetings. Sure. Let's do some greetings. Time of day things. Yalang. 早上. Jiao Shanghao. Oh. I don't know if that's actually the stroke order. Actually, I'm probably mixing up the stroke order. Fine. Shangu. Wu. 中午. Xiaowu. Oops. Wangshang. 晚安. I think that's good enough. We got it. We got it. All good. All good. Let's get into this. Personalized practice is kind of a good place to start, oftentimes, day 3. I have 3 younger brothers.
他们
他们有3个弟弟。
3个弟弟。
牛。我爱我的妈妈。What a phrase.
我
Oops.
我爱我的妈妈。牛
对不起。
对不起，
没关系。
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 耶牛马
香 Oops. 香学 Gotta get into it.
你的
你的医生住在伦敦吗？你的医生住在伦敦吗？ Where the heck is 伦敦？
伦敦吗？
家人
什么？
十
对不起。
对不起 Oops.
七
没关系。
再见。
再见。学
学生
家人
二
爱
谁王老师住在哪儿？
王老师
住
在哪儿？
伦敦。伦敦哪儿？王老师住在伦敦哪儿？
没关系。
这是你的爸爸吗？
这
是你的爸爸吗？Have a young brother? No, okay. 我有一个 No， 我有弟弟，也有妹妹。No girl, huh?
我
有
弟
弟，
也有
妹妹。
妹妹。
What music is this? Well, it's obviously lo-fi. I'm just kidding.这是音乐。这是什么音乐 ？No. Wait a minute.
这是什么音乐？
I mean is what I would say, but
音乐什么？
no.
这是什么？
Yeah, I would say it this way. I'm not too confident about this one. Oh, okay. Clearly low 5 beats to chill and study to. Yes, clearly. Why would someone ask such a silly question? Okay, moving right along. Jiao Shang bu he cha.
他早上
Jiao Shang
不
bu
喝
he
茶。
Cha? Sorry. That was a little aggressive. Speaking of volume stressing, instead of saying like cha. Sorry. That's how you add volume stress to your tone, right? That's an English thing, right? I can increase the volume all of a sudden. Okay. 轮
轮
instead of saying like 轮 Sorry. And then I extended the timing too into 2 beats instead of saying 轮 okay, 伦敦 okay, all right, I'm done. That's the last outburst. I promise, for today. Just for today though.
蹲
Does your teacher live in Taiwan? It's okay to be silly. Maybe a little too much sass today.
你
你的老师住在台湾哪儿？
的
Oh, actually, no.
的
你的老师住在台湾吗？台湾吗？
老师
你的老师住在
住在台湾吗？湾
湾
蹲
yeah yeah whoops, wrong tone. Yeah
轮弯起轮蹲弯起轮扭
我也没有妹妹。
我也没有妹妹。I also do not has. Oh, that's a slightly Gen Z to millennial joke. I also do not has a younger sister. I also do not has a younger sister.
One
香
轮蹲起
Mayo has. Mayo has. Indeed. Mayo has cheeseburger. Mayo has cheeseburger. Let's see. 我早上很忙。很忙。Yeah. 我早上很忙。
我早上是
那
是很忙。
我有弟弟也有妹妹。
Cheeseburger. I could really use a cheeseburger right now.
我有弟弟也有妹妹。
我
有弟弟也有
妹妹。
住
号码
I gotta make sure I don't go too Fujianese and do a 号码 instead of a 号码。
时
学生鱼
Also gotta be careful with fish too. We say fish a lot. It's hard to not say fish in a traditional Chinese household. Fish. Who is that person?
谁？谁？
那个是谁？那个人是谁？ Wouldn't know though, because I'm not Chinese. Do you do your family like to eat seafood? It's really difficult to get by. Like my parents would give you the dirtiest of looks if you no, I'm just kidding. The joke would be like, if either me or my sister don't like fish, we might have been disowned really early in life. Just get disowned. Like, what? You're not gonna eat fish, huh? Fish too good for you? Yeah, you just eat chicken and beef. I see. Yeah. It's hard to get by without being open to fish. Fish is like an incredible staple. Beef is a luxury, interestingly enough. We eat beef on special occasions. Beef is more of like a quality of thing. And then lobsters. Chicken holds up. If you're not hitting the fish, you're hitting the chicken. It goes without saying, you know. If you think about avian flu, where do you think about? And then the other thing is, before beef, it's pork. If you think about swine flu, where do you think about? Culturally relevant. Not necessarily topical right now, but culturally relevant. 那个人是谁? The only reason I brought up flu, the flu is I used to work with viruses, so you kind of know a lot about. You kind of need to know about all the different things. So swine flu and the avian flu were the last most recent like livestock food related kind of viral concerns. Who is this person?
这个
人是谁?
谁？
Who is this person? Explain yourself. He does not drink tea in the morning. We already went. Okay. Alright. I get it.
他
Although, real talk though, it is very important to know if they drink tea or not. Very culturally relevant. And when. 他
早
早上他早上
不
不喝茶。
喝
呃
茶，
，OK，爱
爱，爱，
爱不爱？Oh no! Oh no! Not again! I'm telling you, that song. I'm telling you, it's heckin' I every single time. I like that Japanese cha is still cha. Yeah, cha, cha. Everything becomes neutral. Yeah. I, boo I. Da da na da na 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 na. Na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Yeah, heckin'. Dude, heckin'. Ugh. That's my childhood right there. It's almost like listening to the old like boy band solo acts, but back in the day of the solo acts, like when like New Kids on the Block broke up, and then what's his name? I've got his name. He went on a solo career, and then that type of era of pop music. Dang. When boy bands go solo. Does your teacher live in Taiwan?
你的
你的老师住在台湾吗？住在台湾。
住在站台
站台
台湾吗？老师
老师。你的 what? 你的 nothing.
蹲
Yeah, stuck in your head for all eternity. Along with there are things stuck in that I would get nailed for really hard for copyright if I start doing them in my head. Like advertisements. It was one stream we went too hard on advertisement jingles. There's so many advertisement jingles. Yikes.
蹲 约
Yeah.
起蹲轮弯 轮
So many advertisement jingles. I still know recent ones too, and I don't even watch that many ads. Although I do. Okay, low key, I know I'm gonna get fire. I'm gonna get hot fire for this. But low key, I do actually every like a month or two, I deliberately watch ads just to see what the current ads are like. To be like up to date, like what do people get advertised these days? You know, like people who actually watch ads, and yeah, they still use jingles all the time. But classic one though, let's just throw one out. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I think the most recent one is like Liberty, Liberty, Liberty Mutual. Or something like that. Liberty Mutual, the insurance company. Liberty. It's something like that. I was just about the Liberty one. You were just about to say it. Yeah, Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. I mean, insurance companies know where it's at though. Insurance companies really know where their jingles are. You know, Nationwide is on your side. You can't even say Nationwide is on your side without thinking about trying to do the tone with Nationwide.
Qi.
Okay, 起
弯 牛
蹲
轮
我也没有妹妹。
I feel like I'm having deja vu now. 我也 我也没有妹妹. This is what I mean about the lessons and stuff. The pool is too tiny. Duolingo's prompt pools are a little too small. They either show like it's kind of one of the downsides. However, I guess if you took a break, this wouldn't be repetition. But I got the same prompt like 2 times in a row within the same day and within 3 lessons of each other. So it is definitely a concern. When I boo I
起
节
弯
Good to know it's not just you. Oh, and you can spend days. You can start a stream and just start rattling out random jingles, and you'll get people to speak. Trust. If not, just break out Eye of the Tiger. Dun, 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 dun. And it's gone. It's stuck in your head. Oh, the repetition on Duo. Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
我
Yeah, I'm not one to view things in rose-colored goggles. Not one to view rose-colored goggles. You make with observing the thing and you work around it. You learn how to work around it. Or if you don't, just use something else, right? 我是
是
我
早上
早上是那
是很忙
很忙. Oof. Sorry. Had a little bit of a burp. 很忙.
我有弟弟，也有妹妹。
Yeah, it's the same. 我有弟弟，
弟弟也
有
有
妹妹。
妹妹。
The third time, but in a different type of exercise.
9
有
号码
Although we do have to remember that for repetition's sake, I think 3 is a great place to start. Generally upwards of 5. So even if they repeat it 3 times, if it's in a different format or even if it's identical, if there's space in between them, you have to repeat them at least more than once. So I'm not actually saying that this is a great example of a small pool. Sometimes you do have to guarantee that the exercise come up more than once. Otherwise, one and done is also quite ineffective. One and done. So like if you're going through an Anki deck, right, and it only has 20 cards and you only go through them once, yeah, you can definitely get away with that. At the same time, I probably end up going through them twice with an output requirement. So like if my output reads 90, then I would move along like 90%. If my output doesn't read 90, then you would at least go over the ones that again, kind of like how I would approach writing and whatnot.
T.
Like these exercises are repeating because you would need to see them more than once.
住
Although this is personalized practice, so you might not need to see them more than once. 名字
名字
I forgot they used the crowned for 名字. Things like that.
这
这是这个
那个人
那个人
这
是谁？这谁？这谁？ Yeah. So they're repeating it at least twice.
这个
At least twice. 这个
人是谁
And it's intentional, obviously. Whether you think it's too frequent or not. Okay. Okay.
有
Yo. A decent amount of repetition is okay, but it's just weird when I get the same prompt not too long from it. Yeah. So they're kind of like strutting the difference, you know? Maybe the lessons aren't long enough as well. Like there's like different ways to work around it. Either like extend how it excludes and repeats. Maybe like there are many ways to approach this. But when you're like really on your game, it obviously feels repetitious. Because you're like, oh yeah, so the main solution that most people, like the quote unquote the competition has succeeded, is that they use a dynamic algorithm. You know, they use an algorithm for selection. So there's like priming selection, where Duolingo strikes me as one that is structured verbatim. It's structured in a way that you just pick and it happens if it happens, within like a subset, as opposed to other like more dynamic SRS systems where they would make it the main feature, like target things based on frequency of occurrence, and then if the occurrence is too frequent, they reduce the frequency of that occurrence. And if your performance affects dynamically whether that prompt comes up again or not, right? That's kind of where they go about it. Like Wanikani uses like a burn system and then a repetition system, which like things won't come up again. You won't get to practice these things again until you take a break or have a spaced out repetition. That kind of thing could work. I mean, that thing could be implemented. One may be able to implement that in the way in Duolingo they wanted, I suppose. It would certainly change up the approach. They decided to separate those things, but the separate features are not quite really fleshed out. So one area that may substitute for this could be a super feature if they wanted. They have like the beginnings of dynamic targeting, like target practice, but it's like very, very limited. It's incredibly limited. Like it chooses a unit that you might not have visited for a while and then do that, and it doesn't adjust it within the day. You have to wait for a different day. And there is also a bottom limit problem, where if your comprehensibility is always really high, then how does an algorithm choose what is weak if everything is about equally exposed, which is what Duolingo is designed around. They design equal exposure. They try to normalize all the exposure across the board. So if someone performs consistently across the board, then even a dynamic algorithm like that would not actually do anything. It would randomly choose something since everything is equally across the board. There's a lot of like really weird trade-offs and whatnot.
有
Yo,
你认识到医院的路吗？
你认识
认识，
oh, why did they use 认识 this thing? 你认识到
到
医院的路吗？
医院路的路吗？
That's actually a really complicated sentence. That's actually quite nice. Yeah. So, I think it does save. I don't actually think the way Duolingo is using it saves any more resources. That I might even argue the way they're going about it saves even less resources. Like they're expending even more resources than relying on a optimized algorithm to select and stuff. Like there's a lot of infrastructure that Duolingo has to work with by the way they approach these things. They try to like normalize all the exposures and have everything like really routine oriented so that the routine itself doesn't feel too alien. And I do everything I could, or like everything I'm presently doing is to change up the routine because Duolingo is so consistent in its routine. And the basis for that is it forms habits. You don't try any harder, you only get more efficient over time if you don't change up the routine. It's kind of like starting a fitness program. And if the first couple weeks, really tough, but they start you very, very low. And then the next day, you just keep on sticking to it. Just keep on sticking to the same routine. Don't add anything to it. You'll naturally get stronger. But at some point, it gets so much diminished return, like because you're not innovating, you're not creating more overload. You're liberating a lot of time. So then your gym sessions will supposed to get naturally shorter and shorter and shorter. But you're not replacing it with something. You're not replacing it with more effort. Like you're not increasing the effort as it's getting easier. And that's the trade-off that Duolingo has. It's one of the biggest trade-offs. It becomes more and more repetitious over time because the new stuff is not the dominant thing. Yeah. So the more competent you become, the less relevant Duolingo's approach is going to be. And if you're an incredibly fast learner or a hardcore learner, like someone who just wants to sit down and do long sessions, this approach is going to get old so fast. And that's kind of the trade-off. Because the people that really like this stuff are the people that don't have time to do exactly what I just discovered. Or what I just discussed. Those people who have like 15 minutes out of their time, it's going to be fresh for a very long time. And that is the strict routine design that they have. Oh, thanks, Simply Franklin. UKB. K8. Interesting. Right, because then at the point you would be better off just using Anki or something simple. Exactly. So oftentimes when someone asks, do you have any recommendations and whatnot, you got to ask the person, well, how much time? I actually went over and spent like 2 hours talking about day 0. How did I choose from day 1? It's actually kind of a repeat of day 1. Why did I choose Duolingo? And it had very little to do with how much time I had and how long I needed to do something, because it was not relevant to me. However, if it is relevant to you, those are strong factors in selecting where you want to start. It doesn't mean that you can't start with anything you choose. The idea is most people are asking, which one can I stick with longer before I grow out of it? Right? Because the moment you grow out of something, you either re-innovate on the strategies you have to give a fresh perspective, or else it's going to hit diminished return. You're not going to get anything. You'll become complacent usually. Where like, oh yeah, I'm just doing the daily grind. Like when you have a worker, the difference between a worker who has innovated consistently over 10 years versus a worker who just did the job for 10 years. You can do something for a very, very long time and not improve at all because you're doing the same routine. Technically, that person did improve in a different way, but it's not the result of it. It's like they got more efficient, so they had to expend less and less energy. And the irony here is the more efficient they become, the less and less they have to expend. So that means the less and less energy they need to do the task, meaning they don't need to struggle or learn anything. Like there's less and less learning to be done. You are refining to the point where you don't even think about learning anymore. There's nothing about that. The nice thing about that is if you're becoming super efficient, then you liberate the time to do other things. Like, if you get really efficient at your job, then you have more and more time and free time to do everything else that you're learning. And that's kind of the difference, right? A person who loves their job will continue to innovate and consume all their energy on the job. When things get easier, they make it harder. When they get easier, they take on more responsibilities. They continuously fill in the diminished return as you're becoming more and more competent. A person who wants to liberate time but doesn't care for the task, that can happen with language learning. You can get to a point where you decide, I don't need to innovate anymore. I just need to keep doing the same thing. And then you wonder why your diminished return kicks in. Because you outgrown whatever your competency level is. Where you start, you require a certain amount of stimulus and a certain amount of learning. But once you learn it, you don't actually learn anything new, right? And Duolingo, it's that really hard with people who really want, so the whole like serious language learning. That's the design that I would say, this is not for you. Duolingo is not for you. Duolingo is not for me either, but I actually find it very, very fun and challenging to figure out how to make it for me. So it's kind of sad how fast you can end up stuck in a loop of learning nothing new for a really long time. It really is. It's a catharsis, right? It's a human condition. It's very comforting to do something that you know has a predictable outcome and a very, very moderated and consistent feedback, right? You get so used to it and it's very comforting. As long as you don't expect to be learning new things, right? Second year, you actually start making progress. Yeah, it happened to you quite a bit in the first year of Chinese because I went out of my comfort zone. Yeah. And to me, that phrase, going out of someone's comfort zone, I see it as someone exploring and discovering new things. So based on your mindset, going out of comfort zone is often people's like negativity. They feel it's a negative thing to do. Meanwhile, when I think about it, right, and I try to encourage people at least to think about like, dude, imagine what is out there. That should be really exciting. I know it's very nervous and maybe insecure, right? There's like things, but there's also excitement. You get to meet new people. You might be able to engage in things the way you've never engaged before, and that should be the counterbalance. It's the pros and cons, right? The realistic approach is when you leave your comfort zone. Yes, you will also feel insecurity, effort, exhaustion, but at the same time, you will also feel discovery, excitement, and potential. So keep both of them in mind as opposed to like one on or the end or the other. And oftentimes the people who only see leaving the comfort zone as a negative thing, they're already in a negative space. And oftentimes I would say address that first. Like if you're already in a negative space, try not to learn at the moment. Try to address your negative space first, right? And you, or like not learn something that's irrelevant to the negative space. Like for example, if you're like, you know, if you're eating terribly, if the alternative source of relief is to do something not related to it, only when you can't do anything about it. It's like one of those things when someone asks, oh, I'm sick, should I just take medication, right? Or like I'm having trouble sleeping, should I just take meds to do it? That's more of an alternative. It's a final source, right? You can try to improve your sleep in the meantime, and then that is the fallback. And much like language learning or learning something, the fallback is the default. Oftentimes when addressing like problems of learning, like in my opinion, there's quite a lot of times where when someone isn't even ready to learn because they're not in the mindset of learning while they desire to learn something. So they didn't address the fundamentals of why they stopped learning in the first place. So oftentimes when someone asks, oh, do you have any recommendations? Because I want to improve the way I learn and whatnot. And I ask them, well, what are you doing currently? Do you understand why it's not working? Like why, like you want to also understand what you're currently doing so that, and you want to be able to express that to the other person, what you're currently doing, what you're currently seeking. Evaluate what you're doing so that when someone is giving you advice, at least in my opinion, I'm far more comfortable when I understand a little bit about what the person is currently doing that is successful and what they're seeking, and maybe address that. Because if you just tell someone like, oh, just study more here. Like, you want to learn more kanji? Learn more kanji. Like, well, that's not helpful if they're already doing the thing you're doing. You don't know that. And then, you know, there's so many other things that are root to the person's thing. So comfort zone is a big one. Like, hey, this is my blanketed approach a lot of times when someone says, you know, I just hate why does it always feel like I'm always worried about saying the wrong thing and getting things wrong? It's like, because you're learning. That is the fundamental status of being a learner. If you're learning something, you have to get used to that feeling. So before we jump into advice on how to learn anything, or like maybe find ways, let's start with how you need to develop, or how you may want to develop, a positive association with feeling incompetent or not knowing things, or be in a state of mind that, you know, when you read something, you won't be able to know everything. How many skills and strategies and thinking do you have on deducing and learning from incomplete messages and feelings and talking and speaking? I think that's one of the biggest roadblocks for quite a lot of people. That constant fear that they will only output when they know everything. I think that completely defeats, that's almost oxymoronic to the state of learning. You are learning something because you don't know everything. And if you're in a state of learning, you will constantly always learn that there are things you don't know. That is the state of being a scientist, in my opinion. Like, if you're a thinker, that feeling never goes away. It's like a comfortable partner in your life. If you don't like learning, then you're okay. You're good to go. You can always be perfect. You can always do things when you're absolutely certain that you're correct. You only do things right. You're not a learner. Not that it's a bad or good thing. It's not a lifestyle you may want to pick, because if you're learning something, that is the feeling you're gonna have to learn how to leverage to your advantage or not. When I say I don't know something, it only reminds me there's more to learn, and I'm excited. When someone says I got something wrong, that's something to be corrected, or something to be used differently. It's not, oh, you got something wrong. It's like, oh no, I'm never going to speak again until I'm 100% sure. That's not going to fly. Like, having that type of mindset is probably only sufficient for someone who has to learn something. They have to learn something to do a job. They have to learn something to get paid. That is, at most, you're going to get that far. As a learner, or intellectual, as we call it, you have to at least try. Yeah, You have to at least try, and also understand that that will hold you back so much if you don't understand, if you can't get a dialogue with yourself to the sense that this is the most normal state of being a learner. You will constantly be at edge for saying, oh, whoa, I don't know this yet. I don't know that yet. That is what learning is. It's part of learning. For some reason, it feels like output is not held to as high of an importance as it should be. It's underrated. I would definitely agree it's underrated. And how to monitor that output. Even meta that. Like, we can't even get to output in general, because then problem solving, critical thinking about output doesn't even necessarily exist, because the output is not even encouraged in the first. Like, one of the rudimentary flaws, in my opinion, is the axiom of like comprehensible input, for example. What is your competency level? How do you check that? How do you develop habits in order to evaluate something like that? If it's a chicken or the egg kind of thing. If someone solely told you that input is you trust the process, then yeah, go for it. Alternatively, you could use output to consistently develop skills in order to monitor and progressively monitor your own competence, instead of trusting in fate that someone knows your level of competence, or give you the assurance that there's some natural order to a knowledge gain and stuff. That is your perspective. It is your choice. Personally, I like to consistently monitor and develop skills on understanding that, okay, this isn't working. Let's go change something else. And it's based on techniques and stuff in tentative output measurement. Like, do you know how competent you are? I'm not talking about feelings anymore. I mean, feelings is part of it, but you have to have some semblance of consistent quantification of it to yourself. I mean, some person really, really close to you might be able to glean that type of information. However, usually it's up to yourself when it comes to these types of processes. Like, do you feel secure? It's like, how do you answer that? You gotta find out. So a lot of times without that, people may overestimate how much they know. They may overestimate that they're actually retaining the information. They might underestimate other things too. So there's untapped potential for untapped potential, and there's also potential for misdirection without having an ability to assess. That's kind of where teachers come in. That's kind of where having a partner or having a friend who's also sharing an experience help, right? It produces relative standards. If both you and a very, very close person who shares common interests start at the same time, you can normalize each other. When you're self-studying, there's no one really other than yourself. So without the ability to monitor your own output, you could be vastly acquiring lots of vocabulary and then in a steady state forgetting them. That I have seen before. I have seen someone who steady state acquire new information while not adequately reinforcing old information, because this person believes that knowledge is serialized. So if you learn a concept, you don't need to reinforce that concept anymore. Because the concept that they had was a starting place for a new concept. So they knew the new concept, they believe that it encompasses the old one. And little do you imagine, at some point, the current concept that they're on requires an understanding of an earlier concept. That happens so much. what does that look like? Someone who can't explain, someone who is incredibly well versed in complex specific nuances of a discipline like chemistry or something, and cannot explain general chemistry to a person who's starting chemistry. And that is usually human condition, right? Like that's part of the human condition, right? When you're under practice, it falls by the wayside. So sometimes finding young faculty who's closer to your level of competency with etiquette and whatnot may be far more efficacious than someone who is incredibly specialized and super intelligent but have a detachment from who they're educating. That's usually why you have like structures where young faculty instruct younger students, like relatively speaking, in distance, and then older faculties is instructed in higher classes. It's not just elitism, like elitism or like hierarchy or things like that. It's also pragmatic. It's very pragmatic to do. Like it's not illogical to have someone younger be teaching the younger students.
你认识到医院的路吗？
Yeah. At least that's my opinion. I'm sure there are other ways to go about this. I was just thinking of the more straightforward lineup, right?
左
Whoops. 左
前边
边
左右旁
绿路 sorry 路
路
Off topic. I reset up your OBS. Very nice. Might stream this coming weekend. Ooh. When are you deciding to do that? Huh? Did you think of a schedule and all that stuff? I imagine you already had some of this field experience because you already mentioned you've done it before.
笑
后
左前
Oh, it is 2. Yes, good. It is 2.
路
Okay.
笑
他们的家在医院的左边吗？
他们的家在医院的左边吗？ Oh no, prepositions. 他们的家左边嘛。医院的afternoon every now and then. I used to stream daily, but I don't think I'll be that consistent this time around, at least not for a while, but we'll see. Thinking about changing my stream name too, so I gotta think of a different name. I was gonna say something like Mao Mao. The only thing that I had was you mentioned about Mao. Mao Mao is a very common It's a pretty common one. Yeah, you gotta change all your links.
前
前
学校在我们的家的后面。
学校 You'll find something? I have no doubt. No doubt.
学校在我们的家的后面。
学校 Yeah, 猫猫
学校在我们的家的后面。
OK 学校在我的家 No
学校在我们的家的后面。
Wait
我们
的
家的
后面
学校在我们的家的后面。
Who's next?
谁
在你的旁边How do I get to your school?
到
到学校
怎么
你的学校怎么做？Sorry 怎么找？你们的学校 is up ahead
在前面
That's an interesting way to interpret it 在前面 I can get behind that Your school is up ahead 前面Wait. Yeah.
朋友在
他们 Do I get two? No.
他们
的右边边 Okay. 对，
到
到
饭馆
到中国饭馆怎么走？
怎么走？
Oh, that was only one lesson.
这里是你的家吗？
这里是你的家吗？
王请问洗手间在这里吗？
请问洗手间在这里吗？里路
前往左
我们住在那里。我们
住在那里。
住在
那里。我们住在那里。路左
后往里，我们
我们住在那儿，or 那里。Oops. Just kidding. Okay.
在住那里，
那里。
我们的学校在哪里？
我们的学校在哪里？我们的
学校在哪里？
他也不在那里。
他也不在那里。他也不在那里。
你的家在哪里？
你的家在哪里？
哪里？那里？你的家在哪里？
哪里？
你
your house。
你的你
这是 no。
这里这里，你
的
家
哦 what？
这里
是你的家吗？
吗？
You just kind of just reverse the thing. 这里是你的家吗？ Yeah. It's a turn of phrase. That's fine.
请
请往左边走。
往左边
走。
走。
这里 is a little confusing for some reason. Yeah. Can you elaborate?
这里
Oh. No, I kind of thought I might have a thing. Is it something like, why does 这里 for example, I might not, this might not be it, but why does 这里 require an initiator or a question marker, while 哪里 could be no, that doesn't make actually I don't know. I think it's just not natural for me to have it right at the start of the sentence, I think. Oh, okay. I see. Like 这里是你的 Oh, yeah. But it's okay if it's naughty. Does naughty feel nice? So can you do like naughty? Naughty sounds okay, right? Like naughty, sure. Interesting. And they both have the same tone, so it's not the tone. Huh. Yeah, this is a demonstrative, right? How demonstrative works. here, there, that, this, there, serving as a point of like a topic. Yeah. 这里 no.
这里
Please walk. 请
请
请往右边，往右边，往右边，走。I don't like saying walk. 走。It's probably because the Fujianese for walk is the one that I use for walking is more like going. Yeah, it's more like going. What is it? Chu? No, but that's not close to chu either. The word that I use for walking is not even close to this. Go. Yeah, gyang. But gyang is like chu. But what is walking? I have to ask. I have to ask. Pao bu actually works out really well if you were talking about running. Pao bo is running. 请往右边，往右边，右边。走 next bit. 走往右边，
往右边
往右边
走。
有 yeah. Oh, run? You forgot 跑步. 跑步is the Fujianese for run. 跑步. Gyang. Oh, you mean for walk? Walk was gyang. It almost sounds whenever you say like gyando, it's like walk a path. Gyando. And paobo is to run. So I don't know if it means walk or not. Because chi is probably gyang. Chi, like go.
我们
And it relates to this because lu is do. So gyando is like walk the path or walk some path. So lu is related to this. That's why they introduced lu. 你认识的路 right? Or 你认识 I don't know. 小路吗? Like the way. 感多 Walk the path. Walk the way. 去路 I guess. I don't know. 去路
我们
我们的
学校
在哪里?
Get more with Super Dual.
Oof. These yap sessions. I'm yapping too much. Too much yap.
他在他的妹妹的旁边。他在
妹妹的旁边。
妹妹的第二旁边的
呢？
他在他的妹妹的旁边。
呢？
他在他的妹妹的旁边。
他在，Oh, 他的 ，Oh my gosh, heckin 他的 again， 他的。Yeah. I should drink some yaps. I should like get a sticker and just have like yap on here. It's like let's just take a moment to enjoy some yaps. Brand placement right there.
他在他的妹妹的旁边。
We'll call it yap juice or something. No? What does yap juice look like? Don't, before you get any ideas, it's water. Okay? We're not here to plug some energy drink or something. It's water. Okay, maybe some tea for the tea drinkers out there. Perhaps some coffee, but I'm too late for coffees. For a second, I thought that was an actual drink. Oh no, that's not. We're fine.
他在他的妹妹的旁边。
Well, there's no way I can confirm nor deny what's in here, right? Like, I could say whatever is in here.
他在他的妹妹的旁边。
笑，路，
What? Blue.
前，
前
左，旁，边，右，旁，路，左，后，里，往，笑。
Secretly drinking something else. Tea. Yeah. I'm too lackadaisical to keep tea running. 笑。
他们的家在医院的左边吗？
他们的家在医院的左边吗？ Lackadaisical? I didn't realize that was one word. Lackadaisical? Is that actually one word? Is that how you spell it? I don't even know how you spell it. I thought it was like lackadaisical. Oh, yeah. I did spell it correctly. Wow, amazing. Lackadaisical. Oh, wow. Lackadaisical. It's not what it sounds like because English is bored. It's lacking enthusiasm and determination. Carelessly lazy. As in, like, I'm lacking the enthusiasm to keep up with prepping tea. Yeah, it's more like lazy. It's like half-hearted. I'm uninterested. I'm very lax. However, it's lackadaisical. So it's the other lax. Daisical. That's why English is like a pep. It's this lax. This lax. Yeah, you know, like lacks something. I know you might be thinking, well, lack, it's pronounced lack something. Yes. But lackadaisical is okay. But if you're like a pep like me, sometimes it comes out as lackadaisical. It sounds like an X, but it's a lackadaisical. A lackadaisical. Heck in English, right? Let's just stick with languages that have a more refined pronunciation rules, right? It's really humorous. I honestly think like when people say, oh yeah, but you have to get all the tones right and the Mandarin stuff's like, you guys speak English. Do you? I don't know how else to tell you guys this, but you have the potential. Trust. I don't want to do a trust me bro kind of situation, but oftentimes I'm just saying like, guys, I'm gonna name a couple words and you're like, well, that's just the way it is. It's like, yeah, exactly. Now try to explain that to someone else who doesn't know English. Like, it's not which language is superior or not, or like which language is harder. It's you have the potential to learn the different language. The question is, are you just lackadaisical? Or too lackadaisical to muster the enthusiasm for learning another language? Right. And no, I don't want to hear that I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that kind of thing. English is a lot more cursed than people realize. I think because there's so many things that are acceptable about English, it feels less cursed. Because your opinions are probably valid. Like when someone has an opinion about English, it's probably valid to someone, to a significant body of people. So thanks to the chaos, you can't agree on a standard, right? You can't agree on a standard. Like, oh, is English difficult? Well, go find all the people who think English is difficult and you probably find enough people. And then is English easy? You'll probably be able to find enough people to constitute a large enough group to say English is easy. Do you think English has a lot of rules? You probably will be able to find enough people to think that English has too many rules or a lack of rules and whatnot. It's chaos. It's chaos. Absolute madness, I tell you. Absolute madness. And that's very charming, right? It's charming to me. Japanese and Chinese is charming for literally the opposite, in my opinion. I think Japanese is charming because it breaks up that tedium. Like if you're speaking a language that's constantly chaos and disorder, of course going to a language with beautiful written rules and, like, relatively speaking, would feel like a breath of fresh air. And then you go to a tonal language and it will still feel like a breath of fresh air. The idea is novelty and trying to break out of the monotony of your usefulness, right? And language learning can make that feel so wonderful, at least in my opinion. The rules are what makes it refreshing. It's pretty astonishing, especially in Japanese. I quite love the rules, even if I can't output it and all that stuff. It's just different. It's wonderfully different. People stray away from different. They like similarity because they want to learn something that requires, I don't know, less interest, I suppose. They want to stay with similarities. Like, yeah, but you're missing it, right? The tonal language. Imagine when tone is important. For the record, Kat, tone is very important in English. Just not, in my opinion, humbly, not at the level of common speech. However, it is incredibly important that you understand how your tone is. when you're speaking at a different level. Like what I mean is speaking to a different thing. Like if your profession is public speaking, it goes without saying, I don't have to tell professional speakers that if they don't have command of their tone, they're not going to go very far. Like politicians have command of certain things, and one of them is English tone. You can be saying the most outrageous things. However, if you have command of your tone, you are able to sway, right? And the catch-22, like the funny irony here, in my opinion, is that I would say a large significant of people, let's just say greater than 50%, do not appreciate tone consciously or like actively. I would say the word is actively, in my opinion. They are like they don't like but to a lesser extent. However, because they're not actively doing that, a person who has command of the tone can sway people and use that to their advantage. So like, for example, and some people are naturally charismatic. You know, you still have naturally charismatic people. But the idea is, have you ever sat there one time and wondered, why did I just listen to this guy say like something entirely irrelevant to my life's thing, and I spent 5 hours just listening to the person? That to me is, you can appreciate tone in a language that has tonality. However, you're not actively using it. But public speaking, the moment you enter the field of speaking and communication, English, that is a place where you get major strides in improvement. How to slow down, how to write things. Even writing has a cadence to it. How to de-emphasize things. How to say something very hurtful but real without sounding like you want to destroy the person. Right? You want to sound comforting when you have to demonstrate or tell bad news. You want to sound lighthearted, even if you want to be encouraging while delivering, bad news. And then you can also temper someone's excitement by being relaxing while delivering exciting news in order to communicate another dimension of it. And I don't know, and you can do the same with all the other languages, right? The one side that I think English has is that you can also really mess up the language itself. Like, you can really tweak the syllables and whatnot to great effect, which I don't necessarily think Chinese and Japanese do it that way. They definitely have their own methods of how to sound, achieve a similar effect, but in a different way, and that's really cool too. Obviously, I don't know enough Japanese or Chinese to even start considering things like that. Like, how do I sound deliberately goofy in Japanese in a respectable way without being, without being misunderstood? Those are the nuances of a native language that you command, right? And if you're not in public speaking, it's irrelevant. You don't have to know. You can just talk like your natural voice. You can move around and do whatever the environment has done for you. Doesn't stop other people from using it though. I've sat down and watched someone complain about how entitled they are, and yet it was blissfully charismatic and wonderful because of the tone and the cadence of the way they spoke. Like they were just ripping into this thing that they hate, but they said it with such a Bob Ross mentality that, man, that's when you know what you're doing. Or like when you watch a YouTube clip and people kept saying like, I just love how you aggressively but nicely like attack people. And it's like, yeah, because that person knows how to command their language. Even hard to learn those nuances in your tone expression of a foreign language? Yes, exactly. It would be really sweet if one day, maybe like 20 years, maybe when I'm a senior, I might be able to command some of that. That would be pretty sweet. For the time being, I watch movies, right? Live action movies. If you watch Japanese movies and Chinese movies, you can feel it. You can like, oh yeah, so that's how they do that. Like, how do you convey, like, how flexible is the language when you're trying to convey certain emotions and whatnot? I really like those kind of things. It might even supersede being like knowing a lot of vocabulary. I think that exceeds vocabulary. It's more closer to the conversationalism that I enjoy as an input, right? I focus on those types of elements. Like, how do you make all the limited vocabulary you have be conversational? Like, can you say this thing in an interesting way so that it means more than that kind of thing, so that you don't sound robotic? Like, not necessarily robotic, but like detached from the language. At least those are the things that really interest me. Racing to see who knows the most vocabulary is something I can't resonate with. I really can't resonate with how big is your vocabulary in lexicon, or how big is my vocabulary lexicon. I don't really, that doesn't get me going. It doesn't get me going at all. I find this to be really cool in Chinese after I saw some movie clips on Instagram where people are expressing different emotions via the way they speak. Chinese does it really nicely. Indeed. It's almost like acting. Like if you had any semblance or interested in acting, you try to start to appreciate the nuances of how people can convey things on command. Like, get people to think certain things. I know we're not talking about manipulation here. You can certainly use that for manipulation, but it's almost one and the same. How effective you are at doing that is part of the skill. It's incredibly nuanced. The difference between someone who says, oh yeah, that guy, you saw him, he just flippy dipped and stuff, that's really cool. Like, but did you hear what he said or how he said it? There's like levels of little ounces of nuance here. Like, I love those long drawn out scenes where it's just two people talking. They're just sitting there, they're talking, and you can identify when there's an impressive scene versus two people just blurting out things for exposition. And Japanese and Chinese, I'm a little biased here, but Japanese has so many of those wonderful scenes where you just sit there and it's like four people sitting on like a tatami and just talking to each other, and they're like gaming each other. Of course, Western has their versions too, like intrigues, Game of Thrones, room politics, and not necessarily like C-SPAN and politician stuff, but more like for entertainment. It's witty, it's interesting. I think actors are pretty amazing at being able to do that. And then you like get a chance to watch interviews and actually see their personality, and it's like, whoa. But there are actors who like land a role of their lifetime where they get to play themselves, right? But oof, there's something else when you find out what the actor's mannerism is like versus what their character that they play is like. And they still have to capture speech. They have to capture speech, body language, like, because like, and the further away from the persona that they are, it's so impressive. It's like language is a part of all of that. When like an actor has to speak a certain way, they have to pay attention to a certain amount of cadence, because if they get hired again, right? If they get hired again, they have to do it all over again. Like, they have to be able to reproduce that. Like voice actors, right? Beautiful voice acting. It's a part of your skill. It's not like something you can willy-nilly wing and then it be inconsistent. One last note before I there's one thing to be able to wing something, like you just wing it and you manage to do it and then that's it, you be done with it. There's another thing to have such command over your craft that you're able to reproduce it, right? Reproduce it to a level that there's something that your audience naturally does and they be fooled. So what I mean by this is something about language, something about like cadence and stuff, like the whole intuitive nature of like being swayed by a charismatic person. The audience can literally feel this, right? It's something they do innately. So having a skill that you're able to do to even fool an audience, not like fool as in like a bad thing, but impress an audience with something that they're so trained to do in their life is incredibly impressive. It's kind of like visuals too, right? Like if you drew something that is so real, even though the audience know that they're so trained, right? They're innately so trained to know what looks real that even you can reproduce that. There's something magical about it. So in when it comes to acting and like movies and stuff, or even books, when someone writes something and it feels like it's so real, it's unbelievably real, like real in the sense that it touches something and makes you believe, you know, get you to imagine something that's so natural. That's incredibly impressive. And it does start with understanding how to command things, like the cadence of your, you know, conversation. Seeing a scene where you're like, oh man, this is so perfect. Like it's almost like I'm watching this actually happen, right? Like the character is so natural feeling. Somehow they knew a character that they basically share no experience with. A lot of times they do try to pick actors that might have a resonance with the character. However, an actor doesn't have to share any of the character's impressions. So being able to do that, in my opinion, is kind of very similar to someone who's learning a language and they're trying to sound like another person who has a different cultural background, who has a different cadence, but you know, like that's the native obstacle, the bridge that people like, right? I want to sound native. I want to behave natively. I want to be like a Japanese person. Well, actors are very good at that, and they get to choose if they want to be or not. That's really impressive. Voice actors do the same thing, only like because of the avid of animation and whatnot. That's helpful. They don't necessarily have to. It's not that they do less. They get to focus more into one thing, right? So they redistribute. They have a more focused distribution on the voice acting. I don't want to give the impression that when someone does less, meaning they work less. I do feel like there is a little misconception that if a voice actor only voice acts, they're working less hard or less thing because of an actor needs to behave. No, they then invest all their energy into voice acting, right? At least if you're creating an individual who would invest all their efforts, like one ended up becoming a voice actor, one ended up becoming an actor, like a live action actor. The redistribution of effort. It's weird when people think like, oh, obviously the person who does more works harder. It's I feel like that's a little bit ironic, considering like some people who say like, if you know more dimensions of a language, somehow you're more impressive. It's like, well, you're probably about equally as impressive, because if you were cloning yourself, you're probably going to work just as hard in either direction. It's a redistribution of your efforts. That's a long digression for another time, actually. 他们的家在医院的左边吗？ Too much yap.
你的家在哪里？
你的
家
在哪里？
在哪里？
朋友在他们的右边。
朋友在他们的右边。Oh, there. Whoops.
学校在我们的家的后面。学校在
他们的
我们
我们的家
的家
的
后面。学校在我们的家的后面。
Also agree on the who is more impressive part of what you said. Yeah.
学校在我们的家的后面。
Like I want to emphasize that because oftentimes instead of seeing the person for all of their skills that are relevant, those sometimes only focus on the relevant skills to the person who's evaluating, and not all the relevant skills, or seemingly more relevant skills. Kind of like when someone says, oh yeah, this person sucks at drawing, right? And then what they saw was that person draws in a style that they don't like. So you know what I mean by that? Like, this happened quite a bit in the art thing, where like, oh, this person only draws this thing. They must suck at they only draw this thing and they kind of suck at drawing that. Meanwhile, they're like, I bet they can't draw this, and then they could. So you know, we kind of made a joke about this earlier. Actually, Blair made the joke. It's like, what you see, the only thing you see in front of the frame is not the whole thing. The person has something outside of the frame, right? When you were making the thing about the sleep, when Excuses was talking about the sleep stream, and then you guys like joked about the sleep streams. Like, yeah, I mean, you got to remember that there's more to whatever you see. I obviously sleep. At least I hope people think I sleep. I did answer a question about to someone who thought maybe I don't sleep. Well, I do sleep, you just don't see it. I do eat, You just don't see it. And that happens a lot with skills these days.
学校在我们的家的后面。
Like for example, do I get angry? Well, yes, I do. You just don't see it. What does that look like? You won't see it. I don't get angry in the sense, it's probably hard to picture as people haven't seen it, but there are ways of telling. My anger is met with stoicism. It's not really met explosive expression.
学校在我们的家的后面。
学校在我们的家的后面。
他也不在那里。
他也不在那里。Oh, can I ask you a Japanese question? Sorry if you are. Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, XT, you're still here. How are you? Same, but that's off topic. Yeah, it's off topic. Japanese, huh? Are you still studying right now, XT? That's a really long time. Ta 也不在那里。How would you say there were cockroaches between the seats and the floor? Oh. So oh. Wait, what is the kanji for Ida? Oh, right. No, I remember now. I think, oh, that's a good question. Do you put it after? I think you put it after. So you do to. So to, kabe to, what are you? Oh no. You're not, you're saying floor. Seat and floor. So floor is what's floor? Well, I would we'll just use English for the time being. Seat and floor. Floor. Ida. I think you need a particle. No, maybe you don't need particle. Ida cockroach. Cockroaches. ga imasu. So let's see. Mise to. At least I think that's how I would go about it. Mise to yuka. Yuka Ida. Ida ki ko ikopuri? Kokipuri? Kokipuri. Kokipu? Yeah. Puri. Gaimasu? Something like that. is what I would think. I'm drawing a blank on imas. Does Duolingo say Gokiburi? Okay. Gokiburi. Buri. Miseto. Miseto. Yuka no aida ni mashita. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. So wait, what was the sentence again? Sentence was, there were cockroaches between the seats and the... Nah, that's a little weird. Yeah, based on that sentence, I win. You wrote Kokiburi, Kokiburi. Kokiburi ga mise no aida to yuka ni. Oh, I see. Huh. Wow. Interesting. Oh, and you said there were, sorry, wrong tense. There were cockroaches. Well, I definitely don't know about that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's interesting. I wonder what this translates to when I... It's such a good... These are such good questions. Let's see. What if I place this in... Sorry. Oh, I might have to put no. Oh, wait. Oh no, I don't think I got this. Oh yeah. I mean, at least when it's translated, it says there were cockroaches between the seat and the floor. Yeah. I missed a few particles though. I missed a few particles. I've got no. I missed a no here. I missed no's here. So there's a no here. Yeah. And I missed actually, I don't know if I would put in another no here. That's how I would go about it. But the Duolingo response is definitely way different from where I would go. And then your response is kind of reasonable too. Although the way to phrase in between something, you pick the two things it's in between and then say it's in between that. And then the thing that it is will be in between that. I think to be more clear, I would probably put another no here. Or I don't think you need to. Anyways, that's a very good question. That's a great question. I wonder what other translating things would say. Let's see. Oh, this is so good. Holy, that's not even close. Oh. Wait. No, yeah, that's not even close. What the heck? Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, because seats and... Yeah, it would be the format that I would use. Oh, ni. Sorry, ni. Ni. I'm messing up my particles here. I would use ni here. Yeah. That's what I would go with. I forgot about ni. I had a feeling I needed a particle here. Yeah. So ni. Yeah, so this would say what I think it would say. It would say there were, so ga imashita or imashita, and there were what? Ga, like okubiri, like cockroach, right? Gokipuri cockroaches in and then between, and then it would be seat and floor. This is what I would go with. But I was conflicted because I understood between the seats and floor as between the seats and also the floor. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh. I see. That makes sense. To be fair, all I've done these past few days is study all day and do nothing else. Okay. Alright. No offense to you. Oh, XD, but that's so random. Getting in bed now. Oh, to XD, yeah. Getting in bed, wishing. Yeah, take care. Yeah, take care. It was a good day. Yeah, great discussion. The Hanyu and Hanyu. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. Take care. Sleep well. I see what you mean, XD. That you're just talking about just space, also floor and seats. Yeah, as opposed to being in between them, like 1 and 2, like a sandwich. Like the cockroach is underneath the seat and the floor, so it's literally in between the seat and the floor, the space between the seat and the floor. Fair enough. I don't agree with Duolingo's answer though. As well, it's kind of a weird way to go about it. However, it makes sense. Duolingo's one. It says kokiburi ga seki to yuka no, yeah. So they just flipped it. So it doesn't really matter which direction. So they put cockroaches first. I would take the predicate, the position, and put it on the outside instead of on the inside. But since it's all contained, you can probably move either way. I don't know which one's more natural though. Yeah, I don't know which way is more natural. Do you take the cockroach, right? Cockroaches marked by ga, right? Marked by ga, and then do the phrase for in between something. So it's place to place no Ida ni, and then you use the rest of the phrase or the predicate, which is imasu or imashita. I think you can interchange these. So I'm pretty sure Duolingo would be fine if you place this in the front or in the back. I usually like to say the existence of something close to the actual direct object or the thing that exists. So I like to place it closer to imashita. Not that that's important. Nice diversion. I totally get what you mean though. It makes sense how you're doing it when you're saying mise no aida to, yeah, aida to yuka ni. Interesting. Carry on.
请问
请问
洗手间
洗手间
在
在
这里
这里吗？
吗？
Oh, I totally like this about Chinese. I forgot which unit it is. Just so happens the thing you asked, the Ida thing, the only reason I remember the Ida thing is it was the unit with college life. It was a unit with college life, and they used the shells, like bookshelves and desk. Bookshelves and desks no Ida ni, and that's kind of the structure that I stuck with. And that's kind of how I interpreted it. Like, ondana to not isu. And I'm having gaps. Square. Yeah, square. So, hondana to square no aida ni. Oh, it was in the review section? Oh, I see. Yeah, square. I specifically remember the Duolingo picture where it showed like this, and then there's a window, and then there's something here. I forgot what is it that's here. It might be like a poster. No, there might be a poster actually. And then there was a desk here, and I remember seeing like a bunk bed or something here. It was like a very small dorm. Funny how that works out. Okay. Walk towards the front. 往前面找
往前面
找。
走。
Are you still doing well with your Japanese and stuff, XD? Have you discovered anything interesting or new that you've been really enthusiastic about over these months? I think we've known each other for months now, or almost at least over a month. Has anything like new? Have you been hitting up anything interesting?
中国饭馆。
哦喂，
到
中国饭馆怎么走？走啊 I'm so terrible with walk. 走。
朋友在他们的右边。
朋友在他们的右边。朋友在他们的右边。 not 他们 他们 他们的右边 Oh, you're trying Anki, and when a Duolingo word appears, I get excited. Oh, very nice. How long have you been using Anki, XD? I might be using it in the future. Way in the future. So whichever course completes first, I'll probably start doing some Anki exercises. If not, video gaming will probably take over. But yeah, I do see myself, don't tell anyone. I do see myself integrating and expanding how I would do Anki, but it will be different. I will be like drawing stuff and constructing them myself. So I do see myself in the future constructing decks. Not like downloading decks, but constructing decks. So mining something from somewhere else, like probably what you're doing. Because you already mentioned that you lift Duolingo into Anki, so I'll be mining stuff to make my own Anki decks, because I want to like literally make the Anki decks as opposed to downloading them. I want to like construct, I want to create Anki flashcards and stuff. So that'll probably happen in the future. For 2 months, how's that going? Is there any like, have you found something that really gets your fancy? Like, yeah, I'm so excited about certain things. I get super excited whenever a shashinko vocabulary shows up in my Japanese course, and it's already happened multiple times. I just learned by coincidence atatameru in shashinko, so I know how to write it. So basically, whenever I do a recall of Duolingo, I'm basically combining the two now. It's very, very exciting. Super exciting. It's almost as satisfying as watching anime and picking up a random word you just learned. Still.
走
走
I gotta learn all these characters for tomorrow. Ooh, I'm a little bit tired.
走
And also still getting used to glasses.
走
走
I think I can actually write with my eyes closed for the most part. Okay. 到
到
Not these. Not that reliably, but a lot of the other things.
到 到
Yeah, I can get pretty close, I think.
到
到 到 到
到
Yeah, let me see.
到
Let me try again. I'll watch it
Oh.
back later.
到
Let's see. Let's try this one.
到
I get excited when I learn the kanji readings and read without looking at the hiragana. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I feel you on that. I really feel you on that. I don't know if you have the same feelings here, but I find that if I already know the hiragana reading, it's such a smaller step to acquiring the kanji in terms of like reading it and like hearing it. And then afterwards I start to write it, and then you realize like that part becomes like another form of engagement. But man, when you finally get the kanji for something you've heard and seen in hiragana for a really long time, it's so satisfying. Like, it's such a short transition time to it. Maybe that's also part of when you get excited when a Duolingo word appears. Because I get excited too. Shashinko was fantastic because there were lots of words that, like, oh, hey, that's what it looks like. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn how to write them as a last step of engagement. It's great that you get a lot of satisfaction. I think that is kind of like the, how you say, a good day's work, or like a good job, like a reward for all the, you know, all the investment, right? Investment forward. I'm glad to hear that you are excited about. Sometimes people, when people respond, it's like, you know, same old, like, we were a little bit more excited.
学校
You know, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Keep up the great work.
学校
I think I know this character in spacing too.
学校
Let's try this. Oops.
学校
学校
Okay.
学校
I don't know how close I am. I actually can't see anything. So let's see.
学校
Let's see. I focus right now to recognize the kanji and learning how to write with Duo. Ah, yeah.
学校
It's really rewarding. If there's anything I can say, like, as a plug, or definitely worth trying, I can't tell you how wonderful it is when you close your eyes, like after you wrote quite a bit. When you close your eyes, you're like, yep, the character is right there. It's almost like if you close off some of your senses, you can like basically just know where the character is. It's like it's right in front of you with your eyes closed. And that feeling is also a really wonderful thing too. It feels so great. Like I can just look at this. I don't know what it is, but it feels like this.
学校学校
Yeah, I can write this. If I know where the space is, I can populate the space with the character. It's pretty nice. Obviously, if you don't have like aphantasia, and you have, and I don't believe that the average person is unable to practice to an extent where you can visualize it. So I sometimes like just writing with my eyes closed, from time to time, just to see if I can see it.
"学校
Kind of like Osu players who just do things and they don't even process it anymore. It's kind of nice. Okay, what do we have here? Oh.历史 No, 历史 Maybe?
我们
历史
Yeah, 历史 Yeah, I can't see more words even I know what they are because I don't know how to write them. Yeah. I think it's quite satisfying when if you already know, if you can listen, if you already at the stage where you can listen, speak it, and see it in context, getting that last step into writing it becomes much more approachable. And then when you become more approachable, you have just another tool in your belt, another tool. Like, it's almost like at some point you start arranging things, and you start like, okay, well, I don't remember what this side is, but it kind of feels like I need a stroke up here and a stroke down here. And it gets you like really, it's like solving a puzzle after a while. So if you want to find other ways to engage, definitely would probably encourage that if you have the time, obviously. Lots of people skip the writing thing because of time. Time is, I understand, when you have very limited time, right? I do enjoy writing so much more than I enjoy a lot of other things nowadays.
历史
Other than talking to people about stuff. Talking to people about stuff is number one. Woman. Woman. Whoops.
我们
Woman.
客气。
历
历史。
史我
我
的
的。
哎呀，
呀。
历史
历史。
历史
Yeah, I'm starting to get to a point where, like, I don't think of the characters as characters that I write to a sound. The characters themselves is sounding it out for me now. So it feels more like it feels more like hiragana now. Kanji feels like hiragana, and that, in my opinion, is getting closer to what I feel. Chinese, though, it just feels like that, right? Because there's no extra it's they even have extra reads too and homonyms and stuff, but it still feels that way. And there's that extra layer of tonality. Is like a tick, you know something is missing in the kanji. Exactly. And I think that's cool. Like, if you get to that point, it feels really great. Like, well, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of close. Like, you know, if I give you a character like, I don't know, if you see a character, Duolingo kind of does this, but not excessively, where it's a problem or where it's noticeable. But like, you know, if I give you like something, if I give you something like this, right? What's to the left of this? Right? You could say, well, it could be multiple things, and you'll start to figure out that there could be 3 possible things. And you know what's great about that, though? It also means that you might know 3 words that are related. And that reinforces something. Like, the most classic one you would know is probably this. Right? However, if you start thinking about things in the context of the characters, you're gonna learn all the other words too. I can actually think of 3 other things, but that's besides the point, right? So not only in my opinion, it's a reverse way of looking at how to construct and associate things. So now, like, I know a bunch of things that have this radical in it, and it gives you a way to like remember certain things, like which kanji do you think has this radical in it? And it's kind of really engaging as well. Like, oh yeah, but this kind of looks like this one. Like, do you know the different, like for example, the difference between this one and this one, right? And largely it's due to writing, in my opinion. it's a bit more difficult to go through and say, oh well, this reads like something and this reads like something, or maybe you actually memorize the things, which is an alternative, but this is an extra way of knowing these two, right? And then there's like you have things like this, you have this, but you also I might have messed up. I'm working on these things. And this, right? These two. And it's the difference of the left radical. Actually, it might actually be this radical. So I'm starting to like improvise. You can interchange these radicals and you can probably find the other word. Pretty cool. Not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. If you can already remember the words in your own way, it's definitely not really necessary. There's another way to enjoy the language.
历史 历史
Oh, you learned that last one yesterday? Oh, okay. Neat. I learned it from Shashinko. When I was trying to remember the kanji for Shashinko, my mnemonic was relate both of them. Relate the two based on the radical to the right. The radical on the right, this radical was the guide. Yes, Matsu and Motsu. Exactly. Yeah. Matsu and Motsu. And this also tells me about Ji. So now they're grouped together. Ji, Matsu and Motsu are grouped together in my mind, in my like my little area. Yeah. Matsu and Motsu.
我们
Pretty cool.
米饭
米饭
唱歌我叫历史
And it translates super well to Hanzi. So the thing I'm doing now with Japanese is a consequence of how I'm approaching how to get the pinyin and the Hanzi down for Chinese. So I learned something from using the Chinese course and then adapting it to my Japanese course. I used what I learned from Japanese to start what I was doing for Chinese, and then I wanted to try to do something different, and that's how I'm getting to it. So now it's not a matter of reading something. If I break out a piece of notebook paper or like write on screen, so I've been starting to do this where whenever a new kanji comes up in Duolingo, I see it, right? You know, let's just imagine this is kanji, right? I see it, then I go and write it, right? I go and write it. And what happens is the way I write it, and as I'm writing it, I get the opportunity to like look at it, like look at the character. It's like, okay, that's pretty sweet. That's cool. And then at some point, you get to a point where you spend so much time attaching meaning to all of these things that it becomes a lot less about how does it read, or how does it read, what does it sound like. You can actually pull the character before you know what it sounds like or it reads like. So in case you forget what it sounds like or reads like, you can actually write the character. Like, oh wait, that's wa. wa. So you don't need in case you forget one of these things, you have another thing to use to remember it. So sometimes I would say, oh man, I don't remember I don't know how to say it, but it's this. So I would write it down. I'm like, oh yeah, exactly. It's wa. Like, so now it's getting to the point where I don't need anything but the writing. And if I know the sound, I can write it. That's the usual direction. So it's pretty cool. I think for anyone who's interested in like doing different things, it's a milestone that you kind of get to, especially in Japanese. The first time that happens is probably kana. It's probably kana. However, you can still apply it to kanji, where you get to a point where you start writing something. It's like, this is what that sounds like. So you start doing the phonetics thing, where like, you know how in English someone says, so how do you pronounce this? Like, how do you pronounce sweet, right? Another way to tell someone how you pronounce, oh, that's not sweet. Sweet is you think of a word that it sounds like, right? Like su, maybe you're saying su and wheat. That's kind of where I am right now. That's the product of writing the stuff. I'm like, well, I don't know what it is, but it kind of reminds me of like this. It's probably like this, or you know, let's add like I don't know, maybe this. That's kind of really, really interesting. I don't know if anyone else has that feeling, because so far I think you're probably the you and Lotus and Indy are probably the only ones I consistently know that they enjoy writing, and in a like a connected way, not as in like an extra thing. So
我们
I think it's something worth exploring.
我们
It takes quite some time though,
们
and you have to like be okay with, you know, your hands and all that other stuff. It's definitely a way different experience.
我们
Yeah, okay.
我的
What the? My hand starts to cramp up. Oof.
我的
What the? It feels good. Feels good. What the?
我们
历史
亚洲英国
Yeah, like at this point, these characters might as well be phonetic. Like these characters might as well be phonetic, which is great. There are times now, like even in Chinese, I would go on a book. People talk about great readers. I would be able to read it, like what it sounds, even if I don't know what it means. Which is exactly how I felt when I learned the kana in Japanese. And I think Duolingo knows that for sure. That's what Duolingo does, where they stick with hiragana and then slowly drip feeds you kanji. Because the thing is, it's very comforting when you can read something even if you don't know the kanji yet. And I'm kind of doing that now. Only now I'm basically doing the kanji setup. Like, oh yeah, it's got to be one of these. It's got to be this one. When I see like I did this in the review for Japanese, where you write a kanji, right? You write a kanji and you ask yourself, how many reads do you have? Like, what are the reads for this character? And if you the number of reads will continue to increase. Because I know that lots of people always say like, oh yeah, but when you get to the onyomi and kunyomi, like how do you keep them straight, or are you concerned with that? And my only thought was, well, I'm not really concerned with any of them because the way I'm going about it, I'm already thinking about all the reads. It doesn't even matter to me if it's onyomi or kunyomi. I just know the reads for them. So it's like the new vocabulary. The new vocabulary is to know how something sounds and then pick your choice of kanji. And when you assemble the kanji together, assemble the phrases together, it will look familiar. It will look correct or wrong to you because you've seen it for so many times. So oftentimes if you get to a point where you write something in kanji and you write out the phrase like something doesn't look right, and you'll be able to pick it out, in my opinion, with time. It's basically going backwards now. We spend so much time in Duolingo and stuff, at least in my opinion. I spent so much time in Duolingo going in one direction, and I've been doing something like this to counteract always being stuck doing a certain direction. And now I've finally gotten to a point where I can go in completely in one direction and then go completely in the other direction. And it gives me a lot of flexibility. I might not be the fastest. However, you can just kind of figure it out of your box. Like, you can definitely reach for something. And if you can't, you can substitute. You can substitute so many words because you more or less have learned so many words. So you can just go around and take little phrases and move them around, and it'll be close enough. If it's not grammatically correct, that's not the point. When you say it, it will have enough context in which you can work off of. So in the future, when you go talk to someone, if you set enough phrases that are contextually like relevant, even if the grammar might be a little bit off, you'll have the confidence in like, okay, this will at least get the idea across. And that's where I feel is my ultimate goal. And if I can't say it, I can type it, I can write it. There are so many different ways where I'm like, oh, this word right here, right? And then it'll be good. Or Google Translate, I can like type in something in Google Translate, look at the characters, and like, that looks right, because I'm used to messing around with all the things. So it's like, okay, this is close enough. There's no way they would get this confused, right? So, or I listen to something, which is what most people do. I listen to something, it sounds about right. Let's go. That's kind of how it feels at the moment. Not really concerned about like N4, N5, N3, that kind of thing. Not really. And it's such a rewarding experience.
历史
历史
我们历史
历史
我的
我的
学习
学习
唱歌
唱歌 Ooh, it's 3 a.m. Okay. We'll I gotta remember these. Oh, it is 10. I thought there were 15. So I need to do these writing now. I already know the stroke order for almost all of these. Yeah, I have to encounter a really complicated or suspicious looking thing to not know how to write them at the moment. Like this one is deceptive because they're all touching, but I think I know that one. So let's practice these. Let's practice these for the day. So I'm going to start with the top. I actually believe if we finish the Duolingo course, at least we are N3, obviously knowing all the vocab and understanding. Yeah. I think if you continue to do what you're doing, XD, like incorporating other things, incorporating other things, continuing to enrich and stay active in engaging in the vocab and understanding that, yes, I would say conservatively, that is a great, you would naturally become that. I think the misconception here oftentimes is your people's enthusiasm and their engagement is gone by the time they have that. And it's, in my opinion, solely, it's greatly influenced by people's drop in enthusiasm and like an over reliance on not engaging themselves in different ways. Like, you're learning things, you got to use the things you learn to increase your engagement. The vocabulary you're learning in Duolingo should be exciting and encouraging you to see and use it in other places. So it's really great that you're finding reward in using Anki and seeing the intersection of the things you're learning. You should also, like, there should be a time when you step outside and you're like, I see vocabulary outside. Like, when you see a tree, you should be seeing more than a tree. You should be seeing ki, you know, you should be seeing kanji, right? You should be seeing ki, not just ki, but you should be hearing ki and whatnot. I keep using a tree as an example because there's just so many trees outside. The idea is that if you're not actively using the knowledge you're gaining, then I would probably agree with you. If you spent like 2 years doing the same thing over and over again, then you probably wouldn't have received that competence. The literal content that Duolingo and other things cover are set in stone, and it might even expand at some point. The idea is, have you engaged with it? I honestly think that's some of the subtleties, and it's not easy. That's the ironic part. Not only is the design, however lazy a design is, like all the criticisms, like, oh yeah, the tool doesn't do this, the tool doesn't do that. That means that the tool itself didn't do the work. So if you end up doing the work, then it's exponent. It's good. If a tool does everything, in my opinion, if you use it for a very long time, you are less likely to learn what the tool was doing for you. So like, if the tool is constantly writing the character for you, like is constantly representing the kanji for you, then you don't have to remember what the kanji looks like. You do not have to like construct anything with the kanji. You don't require to do that. And you're also hoping that you never have to, right? So that's kind of the idea. If you're always listening, in my opinion, if you're always listening, it will help you start engaging and constructing and expressing. It's very enabling. It will enable you to do those things. That's fantastic. How you use the content is how competent you become, in my opinion. And what Duolingo has included does go all the way up there. The question is, are you going and using that as a way to fill in all the things? Because you're going to need to engage with the context. One of the most consistent reviews that are positive about Duolingo is that someone wanted to go visit Japan. They wanted to pick up a bunch of phrases so that it enables them to apply those phrases in a context so that they can learn more with it. Duolingo is designed in a way that you quickly get exposed to vocabulary, and the context is yours to discover, in my opinion. That's just the trade-off that they decided to make. They didn't invest tireless efforts into contextualizing it. They believe like one of the philosophies is, if you're creative enough to take the vocabulary and apply it somewhere else, go to Anki, I don't know, go to your anime and all that, the rest writes itself. I'm taking every day when I turn off my stream, like turn off my Duolingo, right? Because I do Duolingo on stream. I'm taking whatever I learned in my Duolingo and I'm contextualizing it elsewhere. So when I come back and everyone, people see me do my recalls and stuff, no, I'm not looking at a note sheet. I'm looking at how I used the vocabulary yesterday. The ones that I remember the best are the ones that I actually took from my, whatever it is you get it, your SRS, and then use it for something. And it does work if you take one thing from your SRS and then put it into another SRS. You can even do 2 separate SRSs with 2 different groups and then hope that they overlap at some point. So like, it is very common, in my opinion, for someone to be studying Anki, using Anki on all the words that don't exist in Duolingo, all the grammar that don't exist in Duolingo, and then continue to use Duolingo while bringing in all the grammar rules that you know and all the other things that Duolingo doesn't have, and use it to explain Duolingo. Meanwhile, all the vocabulary that Duolingo provides, you can import them into Anki so that they can be contextualized using your Duolingo experience. In that way, you're no longer compartmentalizing your experiences. It's not, oh, I only know these rules when I'm using Anki. Oh, I only know how these vocabulary when I'm using Duolingo. I'm learning things from Shashinko, and at every opportunity that Shashinko is reminding me of vocabulary in Duolingo, it's amazing. When I see Duolingo, like you said, when you see Duolingo words in other places, you hold on to that. You use that. It's reinforcement. It's very rewarding. It doesn't have to be anime or like natural resource, like a like a native resource or anything. It's at any time. It's fantastic. And then you build memories, so the networks build on each other. It's so hard for me to forget, like I didn't practice writing these at all, right? I haven't still. I did practice this one just today, like these 2. Oops. Like these 2, right? Akeru and shimeru, right? For the, oops. And the moment I thought about them, I'm able to write them because they are reinforced in multiple places. Right. It's not how you write that. I didn't use chair for a long time and I forgot how to pronounce it. Oh, yeah. Which chair did we get? Isu? We were given Isu, right? Or that's the chair that I know. Isu. I still didn't learn the kanji for Isu yet. It's in Shashinko. Shashinko has Isu. Yeah. I think there's a rhyme and reason to all of this. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't made like heads or tails in how that this plays into other people's theories of language learning. But I can honestly say that the more connections you make, the stronger things will become. And you might be thinking, well, how in the world will you have enough time to do those things? You really don't, to remember everything. The idea is that you surround yourself with enough things that you can get to the thing. Like it's okay not to remember everything. The most important things to you, you will form a network that will be like breathing, right? That's the idea. You're trying to get to a point where you don't think about it. So naturally, if you do something very frequently around everything, then you won't even think about it in the future. I honestly, it's very rare that I even think about stroke order. The only time I think about stroke order nowadays is if something very peculiar comes up, and that peculiarity makes it easier to acquire. So even the subtlest differences are easier to remember because everything else I don't have to think about anymore. It's very rewarding. You were thinking for 5 minutes, I see. All right. So let's get this complete before my voice dies out. So we have, like, for example, you know exactly what this is, and it's still the same. You can even learn Mandarin if you wanted. Not that I'm trying to pressure you or anything, but we already talked about this. Yeah. So this is yo. So yo, we don't really need to remember. And then bien. Bien. Stroke order. Sorry, stroke order. Okay. And this is Joel. All these should be familiar. Like all of these, as a person who knows Japanese, all of these characters should be familiar actually. So I wasn't sweating it too much. Right. Tian. This one I haven't seen in Japanese yet. Yeah, we're just gonna try all of them actually. So this one we have also Japanese as well. There are so many ways Japanese help. The one for this one is you, or you if I'm not. Okay. Oh, interesting. Oh, you mean this one? The one for right is you. Is it, are you talking about one here or two? Let's see. How will I remember? How will I remember this one? So this is Lu. I see something that relates to walking. Dayu. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. You can put them together like this. Huh. Oops. It's the wrong show. Whatever. Interesting. Oh, left or right or both ways. Yeah. Yeah, these should be the same. Yeah. You know, in terms of Japanese, these are conserved. All of these are conserved, except for these two. I haven't seen anything that I know for these two. But this is right. This is right. This is left. And this is in front, or front is a one, and this is school. It's related to school. So gakko, this is ko. And this is migi, and hidari, and mae. This one's interesting. The way I'm remembering is there's a hateful man on the bottom. It kind of looks like a man too, actually. This one has something to do related to running, or like a thing, and it's supposed to be path or way. Oh no, wait. Yeah. Path or way. So I'll probably remember this that way. And then this is to or arrive. That one's kind of a bummer. Rote memory, probably. This is walk. Joel. Joel. And this is Wong. And Wong is pretty okay because Wong is also a thing. This is Wong too. This is Wong. Tone 2. This is Wong. Tone 3. I don't think I have a Joel. Okay, Lou. Okay. Let me make sure about this one. Yeah, okay. Alright. Okay. Oh. I'm a bit tired. I think I went a little too long to adjust my eyes to this. To these. Maybe a little too long. Okay. So let's see if I can grab these. I just need to know the new ones. All the old ones are gonna be fine because I already know what they sound like. Why do they swap it? This one is supposed to be... I think. And this one is supposed to... Oh no. I've got what's on the back of the snail. Oh. I've got what's on the back of the snail. That's fine. Son of a... Okay. Let's go with the ones that I remember. Blue. Long. No, no way. Oh, wait. Just kidding. Ciao. Okay. No, actually, first two strokes. Okay. Tiens. Tiens. Uh-oh. The brute force one. Oh no. Okay. I know this is the side. Some bee sting. What am I? I'm missing 3 others. Ass direction. Okay, I need a refresher. Son of a... Yeah, this is gonna be tough to remember. I don't have anything on this guy. Yeah, Peng. Peng, I forgot totally about Peng. I gotta remember the angry man. Like a middle finger. And then walk. It's Ka. Snail. Snail with a Ka on the back. I don't know how I'm gonna remember this one. Okay, so let's try this again. So, angry man. Tail with a Ka on the back. Bien. Bien. Go. Go. And I have no idea what I'm gonna do with Dao. Let's try again. Okay. So let's start with angry man. Not really angry man. Okay. Tongue. Dao. Yeah. Oh, you're sleepy? Take care, XD. Good luck, good luck. Good luck, good luck. Thanks for hanging out. I don't remember which side it's pointing. I think it's pointing... Yes, it does. Okay. Oh, got connected. Okay. Blue. 8. Joe. Okay, that's all of them. 笑 哦，右边左前横笑路道九and 王 okay. Oh, we have 面 fine. 学什么 is fine. How I mean 后面 okay. 你们的 fine. 他们的那比这那 I think I'm able to get this. So let's do it again. Alright. So the first thing I think about first in and Mia, and we have右边九边. This one we have前面后面旁边 and random stuff. Blue. Oh. Kinda ugly. Try that again. Ugh. Oh, it's ugly because I did the first stroke incorrectly. Go. Wang. Oh, right.学校 other thing. Practice.你们的 他们的 right? Compositional stuff.这里 那里 and 哪里 anything else here? Wasn't too much really. A lot of it deals with phrasing too. Yeah, we're good. Those are all the things. Pretty sure. Check. Oh, I did miss one. Okay. I'll remember that.怎么做 Gotta remember that tomorrow. And that's it. Pretty small chapter actually. The Japanese one is also quite small. Alright folks, that's a wrap. We yapped a lot. Eyes need some rest. Thank you for hanging out, folks. If you're gonna watch this later, thanks for watching. Right? 谢谢. And until next time, I guess the take-home message. We had plenty of take-home messages today that I wanted to emphasize. Interact, right? Interact with your target language as much as possible. All the yapping dealt with interacting with the target language. Honestly, it's really not necessarily about being right? Being right. It's about engaging in the knowledge you have now. Understand that you are learning. So, in my opinion, if you're surrounded by people who discourages you, like can be discouraging, like, oh yeah, but that's not right, or that's not a technicality, or this and that, and it discourages you from interacting with the knowledge you currently have and then being excited about the knowledge you don't have. I honestly think that can be a very toxic or abusive type of feedback. I think oftentimes when you surround yourself with people who are candid enough to engage in, regardless of limited knowledge or not, and all different levels of knowledge, engaging in target language is the most active way about the target language, or about the adjacent, what have you. Engagement is great when all the parties involved understand that there's a mutual understanding where, oh, your knowledge might not be the same as mine, your competence might not be the same as mine, but reaching a compromise and like seeking like a bridge, using analogies and what have you, describing situations so that both parties are relatable, not one party is the instructor and the other party is not, right? That type of relationship can work in a setting where expectations are lined up with standards, like a classroom environment. However, I think when it comes to the internet and when you're meeting with other people and whatnot, finding and investing in a way to engage in the language together, leaving noticeable positive impressions and encouraging each other, is ultimately going to pay dividends, in my opinion. So all our yapping and all that, I like to do that as much as I can. My voice is gonna give out soon. In that way, it doesn't matter if you're competent now, how fast you're going to be competent later. You're going to become competent, in my opinion. The success rate that goes up when someone continues to be interested in the thing they're doing, at least in my opinion. If you don't have that, no matter what fancy methods you have, no matter what fancy thing you have now, it will ultimately, in my opinion, succumb to complacency and a lack of motivation and enthusiasm. I think for what it's worth, people are very, very good at becoming more and more efficient at things. If you give someone a task and you ask them to do it 100 times over, it will become efficient. Whether the person process how it became more efficient or not, it's not relevant, right? Because it will become efficient. Are you going to cut corners? Are you going to do it faster? Are you going to forget stuff? In my opinion, it's a part of the human condition. So having other people and engaging with other people certainly may slow you down. However, it is also an opportunity to reinforce your own knowledge and also express knowledge that you already know to other people, right? And what that does, in my opinion, is both rewarding, have people that may return the generosity, and collectively, it makes learning almost effortless. You're getting excited, someone is excited for you, you're excited for that other person, that kind of thing. I think, in my opinion, if you find yourself under the scrutiny of certain people, there might be something to be said about trying to understand how other people find you as someone that might be relatable. Like, for example, if someone comes up to you and this person is hypercritical, well, the idea is, are you hypercritical? If not, then you might not have to worry about it. If that's an environment you like, then certainly go pursue it, right? In my opinion, the take-home message is, if I come up with an idea, I'm excited about it. I don't care if it's a new idea or it's not an idea. It's an idea that I went through a process of refinement. and I get to own that idea. I understand the idea, I can explain it, at least to the best of my ability. And my goal, in my opinion, is to get other people to consider something like that. And if they try it, what did their idea become? What did it become to them? Did it work? Did it not work? All these discussions, honestly, is another layer of part of the learning. So the things I'm doing now is not just a consequence of everything I'm doing alone, but with other ideas, with other people. I see that certain people complain about certain things. Certain other people, a lot of people focus on what is absent. So because they're so voluntarily focused on that, I can use those things. I can say, okay, so if they think this is absent, what can I do about it? How can I get to incorporate that? And over time, I don't care if you hate whatever thing I'm associated with, like Duolingo or something. I know that I'm doing more than that other person could possibly comprehend because they choose to only see the things that they want to. If someone that I interact with, that I trust, and we talk and stuff, it becomes very apparent that there's definitely more than meets the eye. And I don't ever discount the other person. I don't go up to them and say, well, I have a good suspicion of all these things, but you know what? There's probably way more to you than you might think. So I would naturally ask questions. I want, in my opinion, if you can get, even before learning anything, even before pursuing a career or an interest, I think sometimes it is worth asking the person, what makes you interested? And we have a lot of those conversations, right? However, engage in it, right? I like asking people to get to think about themselves. Because if you can get to think about themselves, you learn a lot about them. And with that knowledge, you can make sense of their experience that they're sharing with you. When someone says, oh yeah, this doesn't work for me, I don't understand in what context did it not work. And then I don't understand what kind of person I'm talking to. So whatever the information that person gives me, it's very difficult to know if it's valuable to me or not, or useful to me. But one thing that you can always be valuable for is to engage that person in explaining the things that they are upset about and they want to critically analyze. And in my opinion, that's kind of some of the best advice or seeming advice that I can offer in my opinion. If I can get a person to think about their own problems or their own things that they have and how they go about solving it, then if they do, they're doing something that I don't have to do. As in, like, that's information for me. So if they can solve a specific problem or shortcoming, and I know the context and the person I've invested in, then I can use that knowledge. A stranger that comes to me and say this is the right way, didn't introduce themselves, didn't explain how they got about it and stuff, whatever information they're peddling, it's not all that helpful. I don't think that stage is often used at all. And today I actually had the privilege, someone actually asked me, and it's pretty amazing. Someone actually asked me, what is my methodology or process? But they also followed up with an amazing question. They asked me, have I done any background or introduction of what I do or what I have done? Because that, in my opinion, is incredible. When someone understands the person, the experience of the person, of where they're getting their advice from, right? It takes a lot of time. Sometimes you don't have access to it, right? That's kind of the name of the game. Some people sell you things and you don't even know what they did. or what their background is. You kind of you're told what their background is. So what are other ways to do so? How do you determine that? It takes time. You analyze the person, right? You try to do your best of your ability. Alternatively, you can always place yourself in a position where you can interact with other people and then like pick their brains. Like if the opportunity strikes, that's usually what I'm doing. Like someone says hello, they talk about something. It's like, all right, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. I want you, you know, it's been a month, it's been 2 months. How are you doing? Have you been doing something new? Maybe we can relate on something new. And that, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if the person remembers you or not or something. I think when a person is genuinely concerned, especially when it comes to learning, genuinely concerned about trying to like continuously seek better things or for themselves, I think that, in my opinion, is a gift that keeps on giving. That is the advice that I feel like I would like to encourage other people to emphasize, right? How to problem solve, how to look fairly at things. And in the long run, it is like teaching someone, or by example, how to solve all their incoming problems, or how to, you know, it's a skill that can be applied to other things, not just how to speak Japanese, in my opinion, or how to speak Chinese, or how to read. It's how to, right? If you're stuck, you find a way. If you don't, you know who to interact with or how to interact with someone. You know how to express your problems. You know how to analyze your problems or measure your output and stuff. Because I think all of that is exceptionally necessary if you're going to choose to do self-improvement or self-help or self-study. And I echo a little sentiment earlier. Output is incredibly underrated, largely because there's a trust system. And yes, you can most definitely trust very experienced experts. That's kind of where the trust system comes. However, do you know what those experts look like? Right? Do you know what the relevancy of the expert's advice? Like, are you following a person who reflects your needs and like sufficiency? Because in a parasocial relationship, you can't necessarily go up to that person and ask, hey, is your advice applies to me? You don't actually have the access to that person, right? And then when you go up to that person, you're also assuming that they know how to express that. And I think that was a challenging question to me when someone asked me for the first time. Jack asked me about my methodology earlier, so I was able to answer that. I prepared something to the best of my ability, but then I think it was Sage asked me what's my background and how that person was seeking how to contextualize what I said about my methodology. And I kind of do that at the beginning of everything, although I think the day one thing is out of date. So it was kind of nice to hear that a question reminded me of some due diligence that I haven't done. So that's pretty cool. That's what I mean by interacting with people, right? You can have fun. You can also have fun learning at the same time. And when you're language learning, it's an experience. So you don't only learn Japanese. Well, you don't only have to learn the language itself. You can learn how to interact with other language learners. You can learn how to form a network, break into a community, bridge all the animosity, at least in my opinion. It's actually quite challenging and quite rewarding to confront critics, take their criticisms, and then address them. they won't take any of my criticisms usually. So that's not my, I offer it. But if they don't grow from that or learn from that, that's on them. They get to choose. However, their criticisms, I most certainly will take and be prepared for. Every criticism, you have to address it at some point. It occurs because it happens. I'm up for it, right? Until I'm too exhausted. Then I just don't stream, right? If I'm not up to it, I wouldn't be online right now. All right, folks. Get that energy, get her done, engage in others. Have a fun chat. You gotta celebrate how long you've been studying and working, right? You gotta use it in some way. Output something. All input, it works for some people, but boy, I'm a pretty patient person, but I'm not that patient, right? So output something. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Remind yourself that you're working hard, right? At least you're trying to work hard. That's always a great thing. And until next time, right? 再见. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.